everyone, welcome back to my channel. You may know me from my Instagram at Saturn Revolution. My name is Larissa, and today I want to talk about what I usually notice when it comes to a chart. When a client comes to me for a reading, what is the one thing that stands out to me? First thing that I like to look at is the position of the planet. So depending on the houses you have planets in, your planets are positioned in a specific way. Some people might have planets in the lower side of the chart, in the upper side of the chart, maybe on the right side or on the left. Some people might have planets spread out throughout the whole chart, and some people might even have planets that are put together within one or two of the houses. Here's what that tells me about you when I check it within a chart. So if you have planets in the lower part of the chart, the lower houses are more connected to our individual self. They have to do with the way that we express ourselves. They have to do with our early life. The lower part of the chart refers to the houses 1 to 6. And these houses are more introverted houses. They have to do with our inner self. They have to do with who we are deep down. They have to do with the way that we like to express ourselves into the world and the way that we have been brought up. So if you have most of your planets within these houses, then I look at you as being someone who is likely more introverted and someone who prefers to take the time for themselves to process things before they're able to express it. You might not be as people oriented, but family might be important to you, and you're someone who really likes to keep things for themselves. So you're a little bit more private. If you have planets in the upper side of the chart, so from houses 7 to 12, then you're likely someone who is more extroverted or at least feels a little bit more comfortable with showing up. You're someone who's very ambitious, someone who's really aiming for more, someone who is always focused on their goals and always wanting to do better. Someone who would benefit more if you were to put yourself out there, if you were to share your story, if you were to talk more about your personal life, or you might be someone who's very career oriented. If you have planets from houses 5th to 9th, these houses are all about other people. So it is likely that you're someone who gets to know themselves through others. So other people are likely to mirror your energy back to you, and that's how you get to know yourself. So that's why you could be a little bit more extroverted, but it doesn't always have to be the case. But either way, you might attract people into your life that are like a mirror to what it is that you want to express. So you're definitely more people oriented. If you have planets within houses 4 to 12 or even 11, you might be more independent. You might be someone who tries more when you rely on yourself, and you might actually have a hard time relying on others. You might be more focused on your self-expression throughout your life rather than focus on the way that you interact with other people. That obviously doesn't mean that you don't have friends, it's just like a general first experience, first opinion that I'm having on the chart. Personally, I have all of my planets in the first house, so I always look at myself as someone who's more independent and who needs time to adapt to being in a relationship, or needs time to adapt to interacting with others and to allow sides of myself to be seen. If you have planets like me that are within one specific house, then you know that that is mainly your energy within this life. So you know that that is the area of your life that you're likely to focus on mostly. So I just judge it based on the house. So whatever the house represents, that is the energy that you're likely to focus most on in this life. Now, if you have planets that are very spread out throughout the chart, your energy is likely more spread out. So it's not as focused on one thing at a time, but it is very adaptable. So I look at you as being someone who really knows how to adapt to things and really knows how to try different things, thrives when it tries different things, and you have a lot of layers to your personality. You like to try this thing, then you like to try this other thing. So it makes you someone who's very adaptable and really able to always experiment. Whereas if your planets are mainly focused within a few houses, that means that you're someone who likely feels most comfortable there, and it's not as adventurous with the other houses. as it is with the house where you have planets. Second thing I look at is if you have any stelliums within the chart. So this is tying in with the first one, but if you have 3 or more planets within the same sign or the same house within your chart, that means that you have a stellium. So a stellium represents an energy of focus on a specific sign or a specific house. And a lot of the times my clients do have stelliums because I have stelliums. I have 3 planets in Capricorn, 3 planets in Aquarius. So that means that the energy that you have your stellium in, so for example, if it's a sign stellium, if you have all of your planets in one sign or a lot of planets in one sign or multiple stelliums within the chart, that means that your energy is very focused on that sign. So likely your self-expression is always dictated by that sign. So depending on what the sign is in, I kind of understand your flavor. For example, if it's Scorpio, then you're someone who is likely more intense. If it's Taurus, then you're someone who is always more cautious and more focused on taking your time with things. If it's Aquarius like me, then you're someone who is more authentic and really needs a lot of community in their life. If you have a stellium within a specific house, again, I look at the energy of that house and I understand better what you are about and what makes you unique. You're likely unique because you're mostly focusing on one area of your life and you're able to develop that area of your life in a way that really resonates and works with you. But it's again the area where you always have to be working. So it's not an area that gives you an easy time. It's an area where it's basically your purpose to learn how to develop that area of your life in a way that feels aligned to you. The third thing that I like to look at when I see a chart for the first time is actually the moon phase that this person was born under, because the moon phase really helps you understand better the energy that this person has deep down and how they are likely to manifest it. There's a difference between a full moon Scorpio moon and a new moon Scorpio moon. So if you are born on a new moon, for example, that means that your energy, when it comes to feeling your emotions, it's a little bit more superficial. You don't like sitting with your emotions too much because you're more focused on the next thing. So you're always going to seek that. But if you're someone who has a Libra moon and you were born on a full moon, then you're likely more dramatic. Like people that are born on a full moon are more dramatic and they are allowing their emotions to dictate their life. So sometimes that is not really good when it comes to just lingering within the emotion, but they might be very talented otherwise. I have a full video on the moon sign you were born under and what it means, so you can check that one out if you want to know the full picture. Another thing that I look at is the way that the planets are laid out within the chart. So if someone has more difficult planets and they are just difficult by themselves, then I know that they really might be struggling within this area of their life. But if they have a difficult planet that is in a conjunction or that's close to a less difficult planet, then it is likely that they're able to really find their balance here much easier. Whereas if someone has only nice planets and a nice energy, they always find a balance here, but they might not appreciate it as much. So for example, Saturn, Mars, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, these could be seen as more difficult. And then the sun, the moon, Venus, Mercury, these might be a little bit, and Jupiter, these might be less difficult. So if you see someone that has a combination where they have Jupiter and Venus in the same house, wow, like that's a really nice combination. I really like that for that person, but at the same time, they might take it for granted. If I see someone that has Saturn and Mars and Uranus in one house, wow, they really went through a really hard time when it comes to that area of their lives, and they're able to cultivate that through hard work. And the fact that they were able to go through that and really build something for themselves, it really helps them be successful, but it was really tough. Now, if I see someone that has a combination of those, so like they have Saturn, but then they also have Venus, that means that they're able to be a little bit more balanced. And even though they might have went through something more difficult, they were able to kind of balance themselves out, and they might see both sides of that energy growing up. The last thing I look at when it comes to identifying how unique a chart is aspect patterns. And when I say aspect pattern, I mean, let's say if someone has a grand trine within the chart, someone has planets in water signs, let's say they have a planet in Pisces, a planet in Cancer, a planet in Scorpio, that creates a grand trine. That's a really good energy that shows me that this person is very talented, but they might again not really know how to use their talent, so we can help them learn how to do that. If someone has a grand square where there's oppositions but then there's also squares, I know that that person is really struggling within that specific area of their life, but then I also know that they are going to feel super motivated to make it work. So we can totally work with that chart. Let me know what configurations you have within your chart, if you have any of the patterns that I was talking about and how they resonate with you. And if you're interested to know deeper, you can always just book a reading in the link in bio. Stay tuned for more videos and let me know what you want to see in the future. Bye bye.